Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, and now it's time for you to discover your legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. First, Steve Warren, president of Financial Planning HQ, sponsors the Financial Focus segment of Talk Law Radio. Steve and his sons, Joseph and Jacob, have been helping San Antonio families since 1987. Steve, welcome to the show.
Super fantastic to be back in the saddle.
Tell us about your company, Financial Planning HQ.
Sure. Financial Planning HQ is set up as an independent registered investment advisor. And so we don't have any affiliation with a broker-dealer or any insurance companies. And we work with financially successful people who have things in their life that are more important than money. And we deliver planning, advice, accountability, and organization to our clients, and we do that for a flat fee.
I love that focus on family and how you help your clients prioritize what matters most. And the flat fee with no affiliations, that sounds like a refreshing approach.
It's a little bit different, yeah.
Tell us about the fiduciary standard that we've been talking about, you mentioned before, and how do you measure it?
Yeah, we've talked about the fiduciary standard for the past couple of weeks, and that is that advice given to a client from an advisor needs to be in their best interest and not in the advisor's best interest. And how you measure that, that's such a remarkable question and a hard one to answer. So most financial advisors charge a percentage of assets that they have under management, and it's called assets under management, or there's an acronym, AUM. And underneath that model, clients will typically pay a percentage of the assets that their advisor manages. And it's usually, what I have seen is between 1 and 1.5%. However, one of the things that I've discovered, and just asking potential clients, the question, do you know how much in dollars and cents that you're paying your current advisor? They never know that. So they'll usually answer with a couple of sentences. Well, I think it's this. I think it's a percentage, 1.2% of the assets that they manage. But there is never a clear answer in dollars and cents.
Dollars and cents.
Yeah. And so in my opinion, Todd, there's a fiduciary flaw in this AUM model. And that is that, let's think about this from the consumer standpoint. So let's say that I'm a client and I have an advisor who is charging me $20,000 per year to manage the assets I have. And the amount of assets that I have is $2 million. They're charging 1%, right? So that means that I'm having $20,000 per year that's being taken out of my best performing investment. Yeah. And so I've got this checking account that pays me no interest. I've got a money market account that pays me a little bit of interest. And I have a savings account that pays me a little bit of interest. And so I've got these investments that are just crushing it, right? So having a great return. And even if I invested the money in just a passive S&P fund, like the Vanguard VOO, it's a ETF type of fund, I would be up 16% so far year to date. So it doesn't seem to me that it's sound financial advice to take money out of a client's best performing asset to pay the advisor.
That's really eye-opening, Steve. I mean, the idea that assets under management, taking that much money really puts things into perspective. That could be millions of dollars over a period of time.
Yeah, in fact, we've measured that using our financial planning software. And over a period of 20 or 30 years, if somebody's age 55, it's a tremendous difference. It could be millions of dollars more in their investment accounts because money wasn't coming out to pay an advisor.
Right.
And if I were to pull out my HP 12C calculator, let's say it's 7%, and showed you the real cost, because if that money stays in the account, then it's going to earn something, right? And if that's at 7%, that's really truly the real cost. I mean, $20,000 over 10 years is $200,000, but that's not the only cost. The market goes up 74% of the time, and so if it's earning 7%, let's say, then the real cost is much higher than $200,000 over that 10-year period.
Right.
And I was just thinking about a client that we have that is part of our ideal client community, and we actually upgraded this client, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, from the AUM model that they were on to a flat fee. And the impact of doing that, when we showed them the impact of that and how much more money they would have down the road, it was tremendous. Like I mentioned before, it was millions of dollars. And so the other thing that we did in coordination with their CPA is that we did some tax planning, pretty advanced tax planning. And now we've been able to make their consulting fees that they pay us, the flat fee, deductible, tax deductible. And it used to be in the past that you could deduct your investment fees before the Trump tax law passed. I think it was back in 2017. But you can't do that anymore, so you have to be more creative in how maybe a client can pay a fee from their lowest interest-bearing account, not their highest, and then make that tax deductible. It's pretty impactful.
Yeah, a flat fee that's tax deductible, that's a game changer.
Absolutely.
Well, let's switch gears. Can you walk us through a typical client meeting with Financial Planning HQ?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So when we initially meet with a potential client, we facilitate a tremendous experience where we define their overarching strategy, the goals that they have that require money and planning to achieve, and a benchmarking of their current financial reality. And prior to the meeting, I do send out a checklist because we ask the potential client to bring all their financial documents, including their financial plan if they have one. And so they bring all of these documents to the meeting so that they have the best experience possible. And the end result is that they have a document, a physical document, the financial roadmap. It's a big one, 17 by 22 inches. And my role is to ask a lot of great questions, and I take a lot of notes. I listen, and I'm really facilitating a great experience, and I'm a scribe as well, because what they tell me, they tell me a lot of words, and I have to condense that into probably a shorter version of what they're describing to me. So I would say being a scribe is not easy to do. You have to be a great listener. And my goal is to deliver value whether we do business or not.
Thank you. I can see why you call it a financial roadmap. It sounds like clear, actionable steps really help the client with their financial journey. I'm curious, when you take on the role of financial CEO, do you work with the client's existing advisors? How does that dynamic work?
Yeah, sure. So if the client decides to hire us, if I make an offer and they decide to hire us, then I become their financial CEO. And in that role, I make sure that all the advice that the client receives from anybody that touches their financial life, whether it's tax, legal, insurance, every type of insurance that exists, or investment planning or financial planning, it's in alignment with their overarching strategy. We can work with their current advisors, but if they're weak and ineffective, we have a great bench of other technicians that we can bring into the fold.
That's a great point, Steve. Having a deep bench of expert advisors ensures clients get top-notch advice.
Absolutely.
We just have less than a minute left. Tell us about the fantastic book that you recommend.
Sure. We have a great book that we can share with your audience, and the title of the book is Values-Based Financial Planning. And it's an easy read, and it's brought value to very many people that I have sent it to or shared it with. And if anyone in your audience is interested in receiving a copy of the book, along with a 20-minute phone consultation, no strings attached, then give me a call. My name is Steve Warren, and I'm at 210-685-2722.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.